welcome to Season 1, Episode number 33 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. I'm your host, Travis McNeil, and today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches of 2020, with match number 18 on our list, which is the one-on-one contest between Jonathan Gresham and Lee Moriarty from the GCW Joey Janela's Spring Break 4 event held at the Collective back on the 10th of October. This is the second match of Lee's run at the Collective that's made its way onto the list. I talked previously in the video about his match with Daniel McCabe, about Lee's kind of run that he had through those series of events held over 3 days back in October. Lee, coming out of 2020, was arguably the breakout star on the independents. He chose the Collective to be his showcase. He took a number of high-profile matches in a very short time frame across 3 days, as well as some matches, with a lot of kind of underrated talent on the independents. Coming into this match with Gresham, he had lost the majority of those matches. He had scored a big win over ACH at For the Culture. But aside from that, he'd been coming up short time and time again. This was one of his closing matches. He had one more match left over this, but this was the last kind of the high-profile ones that he did. Gresham, coming into this match, had been making it his crusade through the creation of his foundation stable on social media to try to bring technical wrestling back to the forefront, both in Ring of Honor, his home promotion, and the independents. Ring of Honor had announced that they were bringing back the Pure Wrestling title. Gresham ended up winning the tournament to become the first champion in 12 years. Or no, actually longer than that, 14 years was the drought of the Pure Wrestling title in Ring of Honor. So Gresham, going into this match, it almost seemed like a job interview for Lee Moriarty. This is on paper a technical wrestling fan's dream match. I think when it was announced, everybody was really excited for it, to get the opportunity to see that, especially since Gresham matches on the independents are few and far between because of that Ring of Honor contract. So Gresham came out, he had his foundation flag waving, and this was, Lee's chance to prove himself on the upper echelon. Both of these guys have a connection to Alex Shelley. He's taken Lee, under his wing almost as a protege. Gresham was a part of Shelley's Search and Destroy stable for a little bit in Ring of Honor. And one story that I kind of picked up on through this match, and I'm not sure if it was intentional or not, but Lee used a lot of the tricks of the trade from former Pure Wrestling champions in this match, which I thought was really cool. There was a spot where Gresham had control of a hammerlock for a while, so Lee used his foot to escape, very Doug Williams-esque. There was a spot where Lee did the old, Nigel McGuinness lean back over the double arm bar, and even threw in the little Nigel hip swivel before, very Rick Rude style, which I thought was again super cool. Gresham, if you want to be the pure champion, right, you got to know your history, and Lee does, and he's going to use it against you. That was kind of the overall story here, is that Lee Moriarty was very prepared for Jonathan Gresham. Jonathan Gresham maybe not so prepared for Lee Moriarty. So in the early goings, every time Gresham would get an advantage, Lee would, get out of it and take control over it. Like I said, he even threw in that, little cocky hip swivel. Both of these guys are known for their arm work and put it on display here. But a spot that, Gresham's been using for years is the running kick to the arm. And that's a move that Lee uses as well. So it was very cool that both of those guys, went for that move time and time again. It was actually Lee that hit it first, again showing that he had that one up on Gresham, and then ended up paying it off later. Gresham hit it on the ring apron, which was really cool and different, and I thought was pretty neat. It was Gresham that kind of took the subtle heel roll here a little bit. He grinded Moriarty on a lot of his holds. There was a point where he had Moriarty down and he would clap on a limb of Moriarty and then, twist that limb, right? Again, just kind of, coming across a little bit like a dick, that he, has that bit of a superiority complex due to his role in Ring of Honor. It was Lee, though, that had to up the tempo and the aggression in the match. He quickened the pace a little bit. He went to strikes. One thing that I thought was really cool is when they did their big strike exchange, near the end of the match, both guys targeted all of those strikes to the arm of their opponent because that's what they had been working. They had some really cool little nuances in this match too. Gresham does like a signature spot where, he'll get taken down with a strike, like a forearm or a punch or something, and then he'll do a kip up into an enziguri kick. When he went for that later in the match and he came up on the kip up, he actually jammed his knee doing that. And it allowed an opening for Moriarty to hit his La Mystica into an armbar, which was a really good near fall. And I just thought it was really cool because you see that spot out of Gresham all of the time. You expect it, but they threw that little twist on it. He ended up hitting it later and paid that off. And it just led into a really good finish where he pummeled Moriarty into oblivion, with multiple just running forearms where Moriarty was down. He kept kicking out and kicking out and kicking out. So he had to go to kind of his coup de grace. He locked him in the octopus. Jonathan Gresham is the octopus. So that's like, one of his pet holds. And just, hit the hammer fists and elbows until Lee was forced to submit. And again, it was just another, notch in the belt of Jonathan Gresham with a fantastic technical wrestling match over a high quality opponent, leading into him becoming the pure champion. And it was another, disappointing match for Lee in the collective, where again, the guy put up another fantastic showing. But are you just going to be that guy that's always impressive in losing, or are you going to be the guy that wins? And I think that could be a cool story that plays out for him in 2021. This match can be watched on Fight TV if you order the replay of either the event or the entire collective package. I ask that you please subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, follow on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling50, and we'll see you all again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50.